Or,
Tell me about the hospital.
well, if you don't know about it, then that's not what you're talking to me
Okay.
about. You'd already.
Off and
I
on.
told you I'm not going to answer any more questions about Nicole until I find out what this is about. Hell no.
Okay.
You guys are
So why would they throw?
Well, I'm not going to answer your questions,
Okay.
but without a lawyer anyway. But just because I don't like the reaction. But you guys are way off.
When a criminal is smarter than the detectives. Ever wonder what happens when cunning minds go head-to-head with the law? Brace yourselves as we dive into the world of masterminds who outsmart the police. Meet Mark Dencklau, the savvy president of the Gypsy Joker Motorcycle Club in Portland. He's no stranger to the law, having faced numerous arrests before.
Mark?
Yep.
My name's Scott Curtis with the Clark County Sheriff's Office.
All right. What's your name?
Kevin. Harley.
Kevin?
Also with Clark County.
What's going on, fellas?
Well, obviously we're not from Portland. A couple things we need to do before we chat, and then we'll explain everything. You're with a motorcycle club. You have some affiliation with one, is that right?
I don't have any answers for questions like that.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking is that a few months back, a gentleman named Jeff Sudan, you know him?
Investigating officers begin their discussion with a car repossession incident linked to Mark, as revealed by Jeff Sudden, a former member of his motorcycle club. However, he deflects, leaving the questions hanging in the air throughout the investigation.
He threw your name out in conjunction with kind of a repossession of a car, a collection of a car. Does that sound familiar to you?
No. Jeff Sudan almost might. I'm not sure about that. It seems like Sudan rings a bell somewhere, but no collections of a car. No.
The reason behind this interrogation is affiliated with the discovery of Robert Huggins' dead body, a former member of Mark's motorcycle club who was banned due to stealing money for his drug addiction.
Okay. And you're living with a gal down there, is that right?
No, I kicked her out.
Oh,
She
okay.
comes and stays. She stays, but she can only stay for 3 days at a time. She's kind of a transient.
Huh, okay.
I took her off the lease, and the people that I rent the house from said she can only stay for 3 days at a time. So
Okay.
if somebody looks in the house, they'll see all her stuff in the bags and stuff all piled there on the floor.
When did you kick her out?
Officers question Mark about his live-in relationship with a woman named Nicole, who often stays at his house. However, as you can hear, he's not willing to reveal much.
The problem here, I mean, I know that she's had the cops over a few times,
Okay.
and she's had problems with the hospital and her.
Tell me about the hospital.
Well, if you don't know about it, then that's not what you're talking to me
Okay.
about. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? Is
I
that
know
what this is about?
No.
Is it about the other night?
It does involve Nicole.
Okay.
I don't know what the hospital thing is, so if that's not part of Nicole's issues, then
Okay.
Mark pretends to be naive and oblivious to that scenario and asks the officers if Nicole is the reason behind this interrogation. Mark deflects questions and expresses frustration, insisting that they should talk to her about it instead.
A complete silent room there. I want to know what the heck's going on, man.
okay. Did you know Nicole back in October?
October of this year?
Last year. 2015.
Well, yeah.
Okay. You guys were living together off and on.
I told you I'm not going to answer any more questions about Nicole until I find out what this is about. Is this a domestic thing? And if so, what am I doing in Portland?
Well, it's kind of a domestic thing. Nicole took off in a car that she may have had purchased with assets that belonged to you or something like that. And then Jeff Sudan and a couple other guys kind of returned that car to you. Does that make sense to you? Is that
Or attempted to?
Or attempted
no. Hell no.
Okay.
You guys are
So why would they throw?
Well, I'm not going to answer your questions,
Okay.
but without a lawyer anyway. But just because I don't like the reaction. But you guys are way off, man.
Okay.
You guys don't know. I don't know who's telling you these stories, and I'm not sure who Jeff Sudan is. But I can tell you right now, nobody's ever returned a car to me from anybody ever in my life.
The investigators allege that Nicole took off in a car purchased with Mark's assets, and then Jeff Sudden and other guys returned the car to him. However, he strongly denies the accusation, emphasizing that he will not answer more questions without his lawyer.
But I don't have the answers for you as far as that stuff goes.
okay? Well, a few months before this car thing happened, Nicole was at your house, and somebody busted in the house. and roughed her up a little bit, tied her up. You remember that?
You know, I can't really answer to that. You're going to have to get that story from her.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to answer to that. But I can tell you again, once again, and you're going to find out that you are completely wrong.
Okay.
So that didn't happen?
What's that? I'm not going to go there. I'm going to let
you're saying we're wrong.
You got the story all wrong.
Okay.
You got the story all wrong.
Now, the investigation takes a shift to Nicole's alleged involvement in a previous incident where she was tied up during a break-in. Mark refutes the claims, suggesting that the officers are just making useless stories.
Who did you tell about what did happen then?
Oh, God. Tons of people, man.
Okay. Give me some examples.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to sit here and name names for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you think I am, you're just barking up the wrong tree.
Okay.
You really are. But I'll tell you what, I don't really understand why this stuff that you're talking about with this dude and the car stuff, why would that get handcuffs put on me?
Well,
why would those handcuffs go on me? What did I do that was illegal in any of that stuff? What did I even have to do with it? I wasn't even there for any of it. None of it. Okay. Not anything that you've talked about so far. I was a long way away from it. Okay. So why would I get handcuffs put around my fucking wrist for it?
Well, where were you when that happened?
What, man, I know where you're talking about. I wasn't there involved in anything that happened if there was a story made up about this theft thing or whatever. Mm-hmm. If that's the story that you're talking about, and the car thing about the whole fucking car deal, mm-hmm. I wasn't there. I wasn't involved in it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to tell you the story about it. You can get that from other people who like to tell stories.
Some of it we have.
I'm not going to.
So back in the middle of June, do you recall getting called by a FedEx guy from your house?
Yes, I know about the FedEx guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
sure.
tell me about that.
Man, I shouldn't even fucking... You know, I'm not trying to... I'm not going to try to do anything that's going to get Nicole in any kind of trouble, man, because I'm not here to try to get her in trouble, all right? Mm-hmm. If that's what this is all about. And I don't really understand, but I'll tell you one thing. You know what? If you want to hear this story from me, you get Nicole here too. Both of us in the same room.
It doesn't work that way.
Well, that's the only way.
That's not going to happen.
Because I'm not going to tell behind her back what this. I'd love to tell you the truth, but I don't want to do it behind her back. It's against my personal rules. I'm not going to sit here and talk to cops about anybody behind their back. But I would like to have her here so me and her could. So we can.
I'm a little bit confused too.
Nicole, tell them this and tell them that. I would do that in front of her to try to get this straightened out because I don't. You guys are just got the story is so fucked up. And if you really knew what the deal was, well, like I said, if you really knew what the deal was, you might. I don't know if you'd arrest Nicole or not, but I'm not going to get her arrested. You know, I'm not pressing no charges on her for anything that happened then. If that's what the deal is.
I guess I'm a little bit confused because when Nicole, you're saying it's a story. When Nicole says that she's. Basically, there's a robbery at your house, and there's an incident. The FedEx guy calls you, lets you know this story. Why would she be in trouble? Why you're saying you don't want to get her in trouble? Why would she be in trouble for that? That's what I'm missing.
Because okay.
Mark consistently states that he is not going to tell anything about anyone and does not want to put Nicole in trouble. On which investigators question him, why would she be in trouble for that?
Everything she stole from me then that she brought back everything she couldn't sell on Offer Up, her and her fucking junkie friends. And that's what fucking happened there, man. It was a total lie. I know it was for a fact. She, like I said, her mom knows. She told her mom what all fucking kind of stuff was stolen in this big robbery. And then her mom comes over when I was throwing her out, and her mom starts looking at all the stuff and goes, oh shit. Here's something, this was stolen. All stuff that, half the stuff she told her, anything her and her friends couldn't sell on the fucking Offer Up, she brought back after she wanted to be back with me and stuff.
What items did she take or try?
Well, I'm not going to sit here and lay out a big old thing for you. Ask her if you can get the truth out of her. Ask her, you know what I mean?
In an attempt to outplay the detectives, he puts the allegation of repeated robbery on Nicole, but insists that he won't press charges against her at any cost.
Okay. Is Bagger Bob part of that? Part of her junkie friends?
Bagger Bob?
Yeah. That ring a bell?
Fuck, you're talking. Yeah, I know who that is. He's fucking the guy that got killed about a fucking year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he one of the ones who set this up with Nicole?
Man, you know, you're gonna have to, if you're trying to like tie that into this or something like that, you're gonna have to talk to Nicole about that.
Okay. Well, I was asking you because you said it was her junkie friends, and I assumed that meant you knew who.
Investigating officers then asked him about Robert Huggins, a former member of his motorcycle club who was murdered 1.5 years ago, linking him to the robbery at his house by Nicole. Once again, he firmly denies it, claiming that they are just knitting stories.
Hey, if now that fucking you're starting to bring his name into it, and he got killed, now I don't think I have any other questions to answer for you. Now I think having a lawyer here might be a good idea.
Okay.
The interrogation team tells him that they know that Vagabab was his friend. Mark becomes more concerned about the name of his murdered man and contemplates the need for a lawyer.
Well, if you want to tell me what I'm doing here and what reason, I may try to help you out with that. But if you're going to keep me in the dark, well, then I got nothing else to say either.
Okay. So I still need to clarify with you that one point, because you mentioned, a lawyer, and I need to know if you want a lawyer now or if we can keep chatting. This is what I need to know.
You can keep chat. I'll keep listening a little longer before I call in a lawyer. Yeah.
Okay. When the FedEx guy called you, you came down to the house with a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to your house by yourself? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
What did the FedEx guy tell you?
He said fucking, I'm not going to get into the story. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk about it. That's Nicole. Nicole's going to have to tell you that story if you want to hear something from her. If you got her all involved in this.
Well, Mark, let me say this. We have you're saying their stories, so whether they're true or not, that's what we're trying to find out. Okay.
Right.
That's our job.
Okay.
You realize that, right?
Sure.
And as cops, so if there's incidents happen, we got to figure out what's true and what's not.
Okay.
And we do that by talking with people.
Okay.
Obviously, that happened a while ago, so we've been working on this for a while, months.
Okay.
Mark remains defensive, questioning why he was handcuffed and brought in for questioning. The detectives inform him that his detention is connected to that robbery at his house, that is connected to a bigger incident yet to be revealed.
Okay. So now what?
Well,
I'm not. Am I arrested for anything?
You're being detained at this point.
Okay, but I'm not under arrest quite yet.
That's correct.
Okay, then I don't need a lawyer quite yet.
Okay.
Upon his consistent inquiry about this arrest and investigation, cops inform him that at this point he is being detained, but not officially arrested. Knowing this, Mark decides not to request a lawyer at this point to play innocent.
She is indicated that certain things took place after this robbery, theft, whatever it was, the one where the FedEx guy came to the house, and I think he wanted to call the police, and she said, no, please call Mark, and I think is that right?
I'm not going to say whether that's right now, but
is that your understanding?
I'm listening to your story.
Okay. And from there, the series of events unfolded involving one of your club brothers, or former club brothers. Okay.
Okay.
And that's where some of this comes about, and it's up to you to clarify for this what all took place, because there's fingers.
Man, you know what? The story that you're talking about is somebody else's story.
Okay.
But you're going to have to talk to somebody else.
Who do you suggest we chat with?
I'm not throwing names. I'm telling you. It's somebody else's story. You're the cop. Figure it out. Talk to somebody else. It's not my story. I'm not.
I think you know that we've got it pretty well figured out. The question is, you're in a bit of a hole. We're trying to offer you a ladder to get out of this hole.
Man,
okay? Because here we've got Nicole sitting in front of a grand jury right now, and she's testifying to them. Okay.
A series of events started to unfold at this point, as an officer informed him that Nicole was testifying everything in front of a jury, and she had revealed that the robbery at his house involved Robert Huggins, who had been murdered. But once again, he claimed not being a part of this story.
So help us get this thing unconfused. Because you're saying, go talk to people, but we don't know who to talk to.
Here you go.
Okay.
All right, man. I'm going to help you get unconfused, all right? If you think that I did something wrong, anything, okay, any kind of crime, let me get my lawyer over here, and I will tell my lawyer, you know what? Give these guys a lie detector test.
Mark, being firm in his stance, expresses reluctance to cooperate further without knowing facts and criticizes their treatment. He expresses frustration with the detective's vague questioning. He then tries to bluff the police by offering them to take a lie detector test to prove their innocence.
That is not hard to find out.
When's the last time you were actually eyes on with Bagger? Was he a club member then, or was it
Yeah.
after? Did he ever flip you off at some stop sign?
That's at the same time he was going. I saw him when he was going out.
Okay.
I saw him go. He was and wasn't at the same time. The last time I saw him,
That's the last time.
he was until he told him get the fuck out of here, and then he wasn't. So I saw him. He was and wasn't that same day, and that's the last time I've ever seen him.
Okay. Did he ever come by and vandalize anything of yours?
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
Under continuous pressure from the cops, he told the officers that the last time he saw Robert Huggins, famously called Bagger, was on the day he was expelled from the club. But he denied any acts of vandalism by Bagger and highlighted their positive interactions.
I'll tell you that me and him never had a bad word. In the end, I found out he was a piece of shit junkie.
Right.
So I admit I hold that against him because I spent a lot of time with the guy and stuff and kind of gave him my heart, sort of like, and so when people just really disgrace us like that and stuff, it leaves a real bad taste in my mouth. I will admit that. But that's the end of it. When you're done with us, you're just done. So anything that happened too much of that, I have no idea. Like I said, one thing about our motorcycle club is when you're done with us, you're just done with us. We got no time for you. We got no words for you. You won't be getting any more calls. Nothing. You know what I mean? You're done. And he's Bagger's just one of a lot of guys that the same kind of shit happens to. It's part of the life.
Okay.
Answering further questions from officers about Bagger, Mark made it obvious that once someone is out of their club, they don't stay in touch with them. Despite his guilefulness and these twisted answers, the truth can never be hidden. Mark had to face impending legal consequences, including arrest and charges of murder after further legal proceedings. Mark Dencklau and Chad Erickson will rightfully serve the rest of their lives in federal prison. These men prided themselves in using violence to intimidate others and increase their power and influence among club members and rivals.